Joining me now is the chairwoman of the House GOP and representative of Michigan's 9th Congressional District, Congresswoman Lisa McClain. Thanks so much for joining us. Did you happen to see this little sit-in they did?
No, unfortunately, I missed it, but I thought it was cute. They were on the Capitol steps doing a listening session. Who were they listening to? Because I can assure you it wasn't the 77 million Americans that voted for Donald Trump, that's for sure.
On one side, you have the Democrat Party that has somehow wedded itself to biological men and women's sports and calling Republicans Nazis. Meanwhile, day after day, we see the price of gas coming down. We see major investments in the United States with job creation. When you tell the tale of these two parties and who's being more effective going into the 26 midterms, I want to know who's advising these Democrats, because they're biting down on all the wrong things.
Listen, the Democrats have no plan, no vision, no leader. So I don't know. Depends on what day it is. Depends on who's in charge. Right now, there's nobody in charge, which is actually really sad. But that's the situation that we're in. Just compare in contrast the two parties. Let's start with the administration. You have the Trump administration that is running at the speed of light. With the Biden administration, I think he was probably on his third vacation by this point in time, right? I mean, look at what President Trump has done so far. Declared two genders, closed the border, basically, in essence, just completely closed the borders, bringing back trillions of dollars investment to the United States of America, which is who he should represent, right? Mm-hmm. There's no question on who's in charge. And when you can't beat us on the issues, I guess you have to have a sit-in and talk amongst yourselves.
You know, I've been saying for weeks now that Donald Trump, obviously getting to know Bill Clinton, learned a little bit about what I call the Clinton School of Populism. Bill Clinton looked across and said, what is it people like about Republicans? They want welfare reform. They want safe streets. So we had the cops program and welfare reform. And that got Bill Clinton pretty high poll numbers. He did the Republican thing. On trade and job creation, he's spending his capital. Look, I know that 30 years ago, telling businesses they need to onshore jobs or else there's going to be tariffs would make some Republicans' heads explode. But if he uses this tool right and it succeeds and the tariffs come down and jobs are created, he will be the most effective president in the modern era.
Absolutely. And you already see that happening. Look at all the countries who have already come to the table to renegotiate their trade deals. That's exactly what we want. Listen, the president will be in my home state tomorrow for his 100 days. And I wish I could be there, but we're going to be here in D.C. working, getting the one big, beautiful bill passed. But they see the tariffs as job creations. Michigan ranks number 3 behind California and New York in number of manufacturing jobs lost. We're the 3rd highest. That's horrible. That's why we lost a seat in Congress. The people of Michigan are so excited to see the president because he understands that we need jobs here in America. And that's exactly what the tariffs are going to do.
Well, your governor might be there, but she might be, hiding. I mean, if anything, she had to hide her face because deep down inside, she knows. First of all, again, taking from the other side, I don't remember the Democrats being the absolutists on free trade. And again, it's tools in the right hands. The strategy is to open the markets of foreign nations to our workers and to bring some of those jobs home. We don't want tariffs are bad. We know tariffs are bad. We don't like them. But if you've exhausted everything else, and this is the thing that works, this is the skeleton key that opens the lock, then we should all support it. But Democrats are so off message right now. If they agree with Trump, they're going to put themselves in a bad place. If they don't agree with Trump, they're going to lose in 26.
Right. No, you're spot on. Listen, the ultimate goal of tariffs is to be zero. Wouldn't that be great? But, would you ever start a football game with a 2-touchdown, giving your opponent 2-touchdown advantage? You'd never do that. That's what's been happening to the American people for decades. We've been playing at a disadvantage, and President Trump is saying we're not doing that. The Democrats, listen, President Trump could have the cure for cancer, and Democrats would find a reason why it's not true or why they wouldn't use it. If it's a policy that Trump endorses or comes from Trump, they don't want to hear about it. The sad part is the American people care more about the policies than they do the person. So the bullying just doesn't work, and it's a really bad look.
Look, you can steal this one if you want. I've been saying on this program, on my radio program, if Donald Trump signed an executive order to save the whales, the Democrats would grab harpoons. Okay? It is just everything that they claim to be their goal, right? Creating jobs, support the working class. They keep saying the Republicans are the party of Wall Street, but then they're running around with their heads on fire if the market goes down. When it goes up, you don't hear anything about it, but they seem to be completely fixated on Wall Street when we were told during Biden that's not an indicator of the health of the economy. There's nothing that could happen better than millions of jobs being created by investment, not federal grants. I'll give you the last minute.
You're absolutely right. And we need more private sector jobs than we need bloated government bureaucracy. We don't need the layering of bureaucracy. We need more private sector jobs, and that's what President Trump is doing. And you're right about the giving them a spear to harpoon the whales. They used to love Tesla. Oh my heavens. Now they're bombing their cars. They're throwing Molotov cocktails at their dealerships and defacing the very car that they thought was going to save the world. It's like, get your story straight. I don't care what your story is, but my goodness gracious, shouldn't you be able to be a little bit consistent on what you're for?
Yeah. Well, again, when you have no leader, no standard bearer, and no message, this is where you're at. I got to leave it there. Thanks for giving us time tonight.
Thank you. Have a great day.